Sorry, I'm messing up the entire tableau. Everything is just falling over. They should be fighting, not cuddling. Alright, you know what? I will just leave them lying there for now. This is not gonna work. Hey everyone, this is Thecos, and today I'm bringing you my Kickstarter preview for the game Monster Kill. This is the newest roll and write game by Radosław Ignatów. You might know his other games, just as such as Night, Space Alone, Island Alone, Roll and Meow the Cat, Burglars, and also like the game that started this all. Like the first game of his on Kickstarter, the A Lot of Games bundle that I covered like at the very beginning of my YouTube channel, like more than 3 years, like about 3 years ago, right? This is the newest type of game. This is Monster Kill. So what is this game? This game is, well, the creator, like Radek, told me that it's like kind of his response to Gloomhaven. Yes, of course, you can't really compare, right? It's like much smaller format, but it's still quite a lot. I will get to that in just a moment. And you don't have like cards that trigger everything. You have dice that trigger your actions. But it is similar in so far that you do have scenarios and you have specific goals in those scenarios. Often it's like killing all enemies, and you do have different maps, different kinds of enemies that all have different abilities. They have different initiatives. You have an initiative and you're trying to fulfill your goal. You have like lots of things you can do here. So this is kind of like what this game is, right? So you could maybe call it like a dungeon crawler-esque game, also with progression. I will get to those things in just a moment. So how will I structure today's video? Well, I will not give you a full playthrough. Also, I will not give you a full teach. The reason is this is a very large, complex, and long game. If I gave you a full teach and a full playthrough, this would be a very, very long video. Instead, what I will do, I will give you a rough overview over the main concepts of the game, like at least like that you have a rough idea what this game is about and like how you roughly play it at least. For the full rules, I will link to 2 videos in the description of this video. These are 2 videos made by Radek himself. One is a rules video, one is a solo playthrough. So you can watch these videos to like get more into depth, like how everything works, right? And also I will give you my first impressions, not a full-on review, just my first impressions of what I think about like the game design. So grab yourself a cup of tea and let's do this. Yeah, everything is better with a cup of tea. All right, so there's a lot to unpack here, but let me just give you like a rough overview of what you see here. First of all, this game has a lot of table space and needs a lot of table space. Now you may think, yeah, well, it's just 2 like of these large sheets and a few smaller ones. That's not so much. And this is where you are wrong, because I have not put like all enemies that you could encounter in the game, right? I think this first scenario, even I think there's even a 4th enemy I would have to put here, right, for a full playthrough. And then you also have like this combat sheet here, where you like have like get like modifiers on your attacks, and also the enemies get modifiers on their attacks. And then you also have this item sheet, like where you can acquire items here when you get to one of these boxes here and open them with your management points, and then you can get an item that you can use. Yeah, there is still like more that I would have to put on the table, but if I did that, then you wouldn't see anything anymore. And I will talk about them roughly later on, but I will not really like use them too much, so that's why I left them out for now, because these are like the main things that you need to see for this little showcase. All right. So, the game objective always is to complete a task of these scenarios. So, there are different campaigns that you can play here. I got one of them right here. So you see, this is a campaign that consists of 4 different scenarios here, like this, right? These 4 scenarios. You can either do a campaign game that you say you play all these 4 scenarios, right? And then you go through like all of these different missions here. What you can also do is just like do a scenario-based game playthrough, right? That you just take one scenario and you just play that. That's what I would do today if I did a playthrough for you. So let me just put these others to the side now, because we don't need them at the moment. And then you see here, we always start at the bottom where this arrow is. I hope you can see it here. And then it says like map number 1. That is map number 1, as indicated here on the bottom left. And then also we need to put these enemies here. Enemies 1, 2, and 3. You see 1, 2, and 3. You put them here on the right. You order them by initiative, high initiative to low initiative. They all have the same. They all have 2. then you just order them by number, higher to lower, like enemy number, right? So 3, 2, 1. That's how I did it. And I would also have to put an abomination here. These are specific special enemies, and I think they always have initiative of 0, so you put them at the very bottom, right? That is very important. That is for like player and enemy order. That's the first thing you do. Then you set up the game just like I did it here. Let me just roughly guide you through what you see here. Up here we have the map. There are specific things on the map. For example, there are immovable terrain, just like in Gloomhaven and other dungeon crawlers. You can push enemies into that and they receive damage, but you cannot like cross over there. You cannot go over there. I think you might be able to jump over there because I have a long jump ability here. It's possible that I might be able to jump over them, but don't quote me on that. There are a few other things as well. There are some traps here. There are also trebuchets, like these small catapult thingies. You can like operate those, and then they do damage in like a specific direction, do like a specific amount of damage. And also here you put the enemies, right? I only have 3 enemies at the moment. There would be a 4th one, the abomination, I would put here, and we start right here. The miniatures, actually pretty cool. You can just cut them out. You glue them up down here, and then you have like these miniatures, and these are pretty cool because you have a front and a back, and the back is always black. That is very important because yes, this game is really complex, and one of the things that adds to that complexity in this game is you can actually like attack enemies from the front and also from the back. But enemies will also do that depending on whether they are like intelligent or not intelligent enemies, right? And they always like try to like get behind your back because they can do more damage then. So yes, there's also that. And that's like mainly the things that you see here. Oh, and one more thing. You have like these little chests here. If you use a management point, which is one of the resources here you can use, then you can open that chest. And what happens then is that you take the item sheet that I showed you before. Let me talk about that quickly now. Here, and then you roll 2 dice, and then you see like where these intersect, and this is the item you get, right? You just cross out that little triangle here, then you get that item, and then you can like do whatever it says here whenever you use that item, right? You can use it with a focus point. I will talk about these focus points a little bit later, and then you can use that item, and it has like a specific number of uses, right? That's like kind of how that works. I will not get into detail with the items today, but that's like kind of roughly how that also works. Another element to make the game even more complex, but also quite a bit more interesting. Down here we have our character sheet. There are 3 characters in the prototype version that are received by Radek. I just chose the one-eyed because that's like the coolest looking character in my opinion. But I'm not quite sure, but the way I know Radek and his games, there will be more characters and there will be more scenarios, more maps, like lots more of this stuff. So if you enjoy what you see here today, there will be lots to explore. I'm pretty sure of that. Here's our character sheet. Here we have our 5 main attributes. We have movement. That means the more movement you have, the more you can move on the map. Of course, that makes sense. Here we have attack. That means like this is like the attack power that we have, like how much damage we can inflict in that round. Here is defense, like how much can we block during this turn. Here we have management points. These are used for different things. You see, like for example, here on the map for these chests. Also here for these trebuchets here. So for just different things, you can use those. And then down here we have power points, and these like help you to do the specific skills or boosts. So for example, here these are needed for special abilities and stuff, right? And also here on the left. Then here on the left, we have our upgrade sheet, right? Whenever we defeat an enemy, we receive experience. That means we can use 1 experience point to cross out one of these stars here. So let me just show you those. So you see like all of these things have like specific stars. Here's just 1 each. Here are 2, here are 3. There are also 4 at some point here, down here, right? And these are things you can unlock, like you cross out 1 star, and when you have crossed out all stars for one of these boxes here, then you can use that ability from there on. That is very interesting. So you do have like that progression, right? That you can make your character stronger. You don't do that on that sheet, but you actually do that on that special extra sheet here, right? Because, more sheets. And then on the right here, we have our enemies. As I said, you order them regarding initiative, and if they have the same initiative, you put the higher enemy number at the top, and then going down. They also have like specific things that happen during their turn. You roll a die. I will get to that in just a moment to determine what they do this round. And that is roughly what you see here. There is one last thing. I will get to that in just a moment, and that is this modifier sheet here. I will get to that in just a moment, as I said. All right, so Also, we have dice here. These are our 4 dice that we use for this round, and the other ones are just used for determining specific things. For example, 1 dice used for the enemies here, and just more dice. And here are some more tokens. We don't need them at the moment, but we might need them. Actually, this is just an assortment of tokens. We might even need even more tokens, right? Because we have lots of statuses here that we can mark with tokens. So like altogether we could need like many more tokens, right? So if you put like 20-30 tokens there, you should be safe. Also, we have a pen. This is not you don't write anything here, so this is just not really a roll and write. What you do is you cross off certain things like these stars here, and also on the item sheet that I showed you previously, right? You cross off the item things, right? But that's all you need that for. I suppose if you put everything on your table, you wouldn't even really need that. You could also maybe like put tokens everywhere, but like having a pen handy is not a bad thing in this game either. And the last thing, last but not least, you see these cards up here. These are the action cards, and this is where we actually start our turn, like the round. How it works is you take the top of these action cards here. I print them on like nice thick paper to show them to you today. These look like this here. Let me just come a little bit closer so you can see them better. And what we do is here we have like 3 areas, and then we roll our dice. Let me just do that right here. I have a 4, 5, and 2 6s in case it's too much out of focus, and then I can put them on the sheet here. If I put like 1 die, I have to put here, assigned to this action card. Either I put a 2 here, that means we can do all of that here, or I put a 6 here, then we can do all of that, or I put any number down here and we can do all of that, right? So I have a 4, 5, and 2 6s. I think I will put it right here on the 6, so I'll put it right here, right? And then that means I could do these things. Right, we have like 2 defense, 3 management points, and 3 power points, and also 2 initiative. Let me show you how that works. So I put that 6 right here. So now we get 2 defense, so we will mark that right here. I will get 3 management points, I mark that right here. Then I get 3 power points, I will put them right here. And also initiative 2. That means now I will take one of these black markers. I've just chose black because that's my main player color. And then I can put like my token anywhere where I could put like 2 initiative. Right now, everybody has 2 initiative. So I can either go here, or here, or here, or like at the as the last one, right? So I would put the marker right there. Let's say I would have an initiative of 3. I would go first, right here, right? If I would have initiative 1, I would be the last one. Depending on what the enemies were. Let's say this was a 3 initiative enemy. With a 2 now, I could not go first, right? Because 3 initiative is higher. But I could go here, here, or at the bottom. That's kind of how that works. So I would just go first, just because, why not? Maybe I can defeat 1 enemy and I have 1 less to worry about. That's the first thing we do. Draw that action card and like modify all of our stats, or like all our resources, so to speak, for this round. Then we roll a die, which determines the enemy action. That's a 2. So I will put it right there. So now, this round, the enemies will do this. That means this enemy here will walk 2, will attack 2, like do 2 damage, and defend 2. So that means when I do damage, like 5 damage, I would have to reduce that by 2. This enemy the same, 1 movement, 2 damage, 1 defense, and so on. And also down here you see like this little diamond shape. This diamond shape means that the special ability of the enemy will be charged by 1. As soon as everything is charged, this will be unleashed, doing 2 extra damage. I have something like that as well down here. This summon, right? I can like charge all of that up, and then I will be able to move more and have like this summon ability that I can use, right? And then we have the action phase. And the action phase means we do the player and the enemy turns. Right, so in my turn now, I could start doing my things, whatever, right? I have like 3 dice here, and with these 3 dice, I can now do things. I can assign them to specific things. So for example, let's say here on our sheet, we have like these boxes here, so I could assign any die to any of these. So for example, I could assign a 6 here, because, I don't have any movement this round, right? But I need to be able to move, right? Because I have close combat, I need to be right adjacent to an enemy to be able to damage them, right? So this is why I need to get closer. Oops. So that means I will put a 6 here, and I will get 1 movement for that. Now you see that +1 here, right? So what I can do now is, I can take 1 focus point. You see the same symbol here. Put that focus point here, and it means now +1. So now I get 1 more. I get 2 movement. If I had a 3, which I don't have at the moment, but let's just say I had 1, I could also put that 3 here and get 2 extra movement. So now I would have 4 movement right here, like this. That's one way to use dice. right? You can also use dice here in order to do special abilities. For that, you always need to use the die, or you need to use like a focus point for that, right? To be able to use that ability. And you can also make the ability stronger. For example, that aimed shot will do 2 damage in a range of 3. And I could make that stronger, change that to a 3 because that's down here, if I also like powered it up with these 2. So I could spend 1 attack or 1 focus and another attack or 1 focus to make that one stronger. This is how these special abilities would work. What I can also do is right here, down here, you see there is any die I can put here to get 2 more initiative, just in case I needed it, right? Because for down here, I would have only 1 initiative. So with that, I could boost that. Another thing is right here, I could heal. I could put one die here to heal 1 damage in case I had to. Right now I'm at full health, that's fine. And with the focus point, I could make that stronger by 1, right? So there are like a lot of things you can do on your character sheet, and this is like what you usually dice for, right? So now I have like, can also use my points here. For example, I have 4 movements, so I could use 2 movement to go to that enemy. I would then, when I stop, you can kind of see that, but if I stop, then I can like rotate into any direction. I would rotate towards the enemy, see here, right? So I'm looking at the enemy right now, and then I could damage the enemy, right? So I could like do damage here. Oh, let me just, didn't I have, oh no, I don't have any attacks. So I would also, of course, have to put some attack here. Let's say 1 + 1 with my focus here, right? Instead, maybe I could have like put a 2 here to have like, let's say there was a 2. I could have gotten more damage, whatever, right? Just as an example. And then I could now attack. I could do 4 damage to that enemy. But we rolled a 2, right? This is here enemy number 1. That is the enemy down here. Sorry, I'm messing up the entire tableau. Everything is just falling over. They should be fighting, not cuddling. All right, you know what? I will just leave them lying there for now. This is not going to work. So this enemy here, right? You see a 2. That means 1 defense. So I'm doing 4 damage, but 1 defense. That would be 3 damage, but that's not all. Now we have this here. This is the modifier sheet that you would also have to put on the table someplace. And now this is the row for the player. This is the row for the enemies. And I would now choose one of these 4 boxes here, right? So if I chose this one here, then I would roll a die. This is what this die here is for. Let me roll that. And that is a 3. So if I chose that box and now I look at the 3, that says, oh, okay, that is just the regular damage, right? So I would just do the damage like I determined it. That's 4 minus that 1 here. That would be 3, right? I would do like 3 damage. And that is still not all, because I also need to roll a die here. That is like the hitbox. Like, where do I actually hit the enemy? Do I hit the arm or the head or the legs, right? So I would roll another die right here. That is a 3. And 3 is up here. That means I would now have to go through 1 armor because I'm attacking from the front, and then I do my damage. Had I attacked the enemy from the back, like there's like a small symbol symbolizing that, I would just do the regular damage, right? So that means 4 damage, -1, -1. That means, oh no, wait, it's down here, but it's the same enemy. So that I would do 2 damage, right? So I would reduce that by 2. And then I can see if I can do anything else, right? I do have some management points. Maybe I have another movement point. Maybe I could go to a ballista and shoot that, or open that chest, right? Whatever I want to do during my turn. And that's kind of how that works. So that is pretty interesting. If you choose one of these 4 boxes, doesn't matter which one you choose, but some of them have like a higher risk and higher reward kind of thing, right? So you're more likely to actually get like, you're less likely to get negative implications, but if you get them, they're like much higher, for example, but you can also get like a higher bonus, right? So higher plus and higher negative counts. That's a kind of how that works, right? This one, the last box, you can only use if you have 4 of these power points. At the moment, I only have 2 this round, but if I had 4, I could also use this box right here, because then I could do also effects like bleeding and stuff. There are like lots of effects you can do, right? You can immobilize enemies, you can stun them, you have like this kind of bleeding effect, so that's pretty interesting. There's like a lots here that you can unravel with the game. But that's kind of the rough overview over what you do during your turn, right? And the enemies are a little bit simpler. You look at the initial, like from top to bottom, you go through all the enemies because we went first, and now it's this enemy, then this, and this one. Had we been here, regarding initiative, like here between these 2 enemies, this one would have gone first, then it would be us, and then these 2 enemies, right? Now this one would go first, you would do the same thing. The enemy would now move 2, that is enemy number 3 down here, would move 2, but can't reach us, right? And then would do 2 damage, but we're not there. Things like that would like activate like all the things right here. And then the next enemy would go, and the next one. This one would actually be able to reach us and damage us. And we do the same thing here. We also have 2 movement. That's done. The enemy would try to get into our back if possible. Because it says right here, there's like a symbol that says like, okay, enemy's going to our back. Then there's another symbol that says which of these modifier boxes we use. We use this modifier box right here. Then we roll on it. A 6. And that would be from the front, 1 less damage. From the back, which is now the case in this example, 1 more damage, right? And this is like how you would determine the kind of damage the enemy would do. And you would reduce that here on your bar. There are more things to consider, but that's like, I would say this is like the main gist of how that works. And when everybody has gone, then you start a new round, and same thing, you draw a new card again, then you roll your 4 dice, you put something on there, you do the initiative, you determine the enemy actions, you do all of that before it's like you go through all the turns again, the player turn and the enemy turn. The game is over when you are dead. Of course, you lose, right? So if you like have like 1 health left or whatever, and you slide it off like to 0 health, then you lose. You win if you fulfill whatever that scenario says. These scenarios have different goals, different things that you need to do. This one here just has no goal, so that means that you just need to kill all the enemies. Some goals also have like a specific time frame that you need. And then we did map 1, and then you go to map 3, and then to map 3, right? We do like these 3 things. So we need to exchange the map then and go there. And we do all of these things in order to finish scenario 1, right? So quite a long game actually, right? Because you need to like, defeat all the enemies, and then the next map, and then another map, right? And then you would, if you did a campaign, you would go through the other scenarios as well, right? From bottom to top, from bottom to top, from bottom to top. And here would be like the boss at the end. That's map number 8. And that's how you would go through the entire game here. So now I haven't shown you exactly like everything, but I think that should like give you a pretty good idea of how this game works. And you may maybe see, I just talked about the most important things. And this video will probably be around 20 minutes long, depending on how much I will edit out. Now imagine I will tell you all the rules and play through the entire game, through the entire scenarios with all maps. That will take quite a long time. So this is why I will leave it at an overview today. But as I said, I will leave links to the creators' videos in the description, just in case you're hungry for more like in-depth content of how this game actually works. Alright, my first impression. Let me just say a few unscripted things about this game. Components, I don't have to say a whole lot, right? Because this is a print-and-play game. The components are as nice as you want to make them. But in essence, like printing everything out is quite a breeze, right? Of course, I could also like cut out these maps and the character sheet a little bit nicer so we don't have these white borders here, right? I did it with these sheets here, but that all works really well. I just put them on like normal paper, but you can also do them on thick paper, like a double thick paper like I did here, right? So you have like nice maps, you can laminate them, so that all works really well. So you can print it out really well. At first, it's like a lot of files that you need to like go through. And then you have like this massive rule book here with like 36 pages. This is like really massive, man. Seriously. And then it will like kind of guide you through like which sheets you need, where you need to put them and things like that, right? So at first it's like a lot, but you will actually be able to go through it and understand that. So that is fine. Regarding like art design, I do really like the characters. Especially the characters, but also the enemies. I like the design quite a bit. I don't know if these are original or not. I can't really tell you, to be honest. But these look really nice. And the rest looks serviceable. It's fine. I wouldn't say like it's like a design masterpiece, but it works totally fine. I think it looks good. Everything, like the iconography works really well. You understand, like once you know how things work, it is quite good in that regard. Gameplay works well also. I do like how the dice trigger your actions. When the creator, when Radek told me that there's like his answer to Gloomhaven, of course take that with a pinch of salt, right? Of course, never compare two games like that, like too closely, so to speak, right? But I kind of get what he's saying. I thought like, okay, well, I hope it's like a little bit original and a little bit different, because we don't want the same game just in print and play form, right? And yeah, that he delivered on that. because we do have like this this dice mechanism here, and that works pretty well because the dice kind of tell you like what you can do. And the good thing is, like, you can attribute dice to anything here, right? So I can use that 6 here or there, whatever, right? And use my focus points to make them stronger, right? So you can at least have like 3 different stats that you can increase by 2. That is pretty cool. And then if you have specific dice, then you can also like get more stuff. And that's kind of cool because you have like a mixture here of, you're quite free in how you use your dice. But you also do need specific dice rolls to actually like do specific actions much stronger. And that works quite well. I like that. What I also like is the way the enemies work regarding like what they do. Like some of them are intelligent, some aren't. They tell you like which of these modifier tables you use. They tell you like whether they will attack from the back or the front. And you have like these 6 columns here, these 6 boxes that determine like what they will actually do, right? They're very similar here, but I mean, that's the first scenario. Other enemies will be more interesting. So that's pretty cool. I also like these small touches that make the game a lot more complex, but also quite interesting. Like having, like positioning your enemy in front or behind the enemy. That is quite interesting, right? Attacking from the front or the back, that actually does make a difference. And that is a cool idea. I like that quite a bit. So there are a lot of things to like about this game. Also the progression system I like quite a bit. So there's a lot to like about this game. So if you like this kind of gameplay, this might be just the game for you to check out. So yeah, it's not all perfect. I really needed quite a while to understand this game. And I would say I'm quite proficient at learning and playing and talking about games. I would say so, right? Because I've played more than 1,000 games in my life, different games, I would say. I play 20 to 30 sessions per week. So I think I'm quite proficient and I needed quite a while to understand this game. That's because of 2 reasons. First of all, this game is massive. Once you know how it works, you saw I was able to explain it in like 10 to 15 minutes, right? Like the rough concept of the game. I think you could now start playing it and just reference the rulebooks for some rules I didn't mention, right? But still, that's just after me having read all the rules and understand everything. There's lots of stuff here. 36 pages is a lot. That's one thing. That's just a lot of sheets, a lot of rules, a lot of small boxes, lots of ways you like put lots of markers and dice and whatever, right? There's just a lot here to unpack. And secondly, the rules are still in prototype form, and I know it is quite a feat to explain a game like this and to put it like in a good format, in a good, compact, well-written rule book. The rule book still needs a little bit of work, in my opinion, but that's fine. This is just a prototype. Keep in mind, all of this is just a prototype, and this already looks really good, and it works really well, right? But still, there were some things in the rules that weren't quite clear. Like the order in which things were explained, right? Wasn't perfect, for example. I did have some issues with the setup. Okay, I printed it very small, but I also have it on my PC, right? So large there. It was kind of hard to see everything, right? Like there are numbers down here and numbers up there. You know, I really like that kind of thing. I think that's very important, but still was really hard to find like these numbers, right? So I think there is still room for improvement here for sure. But apart from that, this is a very solid roll and write, minus the write part. You don't have a whole lot of write here, right? But like a roll and fight, maybe a roll and fight game. I don't know. Yeah, I think this is pretty cool. If you like roll and write games, and if you like this kind of dungeon, Gloomhaven-esque kind of gameplay, right? Roaming around the map, fulfilling specific objectives, trying to like use your character's abilities as best as you can, working with initiative and enemy patterns and stuff. This might be just the game for you. So this game will go live on Kickstarter on July 15th, which is, if I can publish this in time, tomorrow on Monday. And, well, I will leave a link to the Kickstarter project in the description as usual, so you can check it out for yourself. And if you liked what you saw here today, why don't you go and check it out? I think this definitely deserves at least a visit, because Radosław always does some pretty good games that give you like a lot of depth, first of all, but also like a lot of content. There's also a lot to do. Like just playing through this one campaign here. Oh man, that's going to take a while. And I'm not quite sure how many campaigns he sent me for this prototype, but quite a few, and I imagine there will be even more for the finished version. So there's a lot to uncover. Also, you have different characters you can play, and also you have to play, right? If you do the entire scenario, the entire campaign, I think you even have to switch characters at some point. But that's something that you can discover yourself by checking out the rules yourself or the videos that I will post in the description. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit different format, but I think for this type of game and for this game, Monster Kill, I think it was just the right thing to do. Thank you for sticking to the very end. As usual, I'm really thankful for your support. I especially want to give a shout out to my generous patrons, and the biggest thanks go out to Thecos and Ryan Hall for supporting me at the highest tier. Thank you so much for your generosity. I really appreciate that. You can support me by watching, liking, and commenting on my videos. You can also subscribe to my channel if you like my content enough. That would actually be amazing. You can also support me on Patreon if you wish to do so, and you can join my Discord server to hang out with me and my really, truly amazing community. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the very next video. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and cheers.